Action. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be taking up questions from 106, 107, 108, and 109. This is a live performance. We have a class here. There's the class, yay! And we are going to be going over some of this material. So let's see what we got here. 106, any questions on it? 106 was fairly straightforward? Good, then I'm going to have you do some questions right now. Let's see how you do on them. So, like we did yesterday, let's do number 1, go. Just hold on a second and then I'll take it up. If you have a question, stop me, okay? So I've got 2, so that's going to be 2 squared, m to the 5, which is probably better as 4m to the 5. We all good? All right, simple. Over here, more interesting. Couple of different ways to think about doing this. Mustafa, what's up?
When is the base the same? Aren't the bases the same between 2?
Aren't the bases the same? Most certainly. The bases are the same, so it was 2 squared.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Make sense? All right. Over here. So now I got m to the 4 times 2m to the negative 3. Couple of different ways of thinking about that. One way to think about it is that it's m to the 4 times 2 all over m to the 3. That's one way to think about it. Where there are more m's, one on top. So it's going to leave us with 2m. Another way to do that was to make use of the rule that you learned in grade 9, and that's where it's m to the 4 plus minus 3, which is 2m. Let's see if I can get rid of this. No, I don't think I can. I think this is stuck. Oh, I can move it out of the way a bit. Okay. Questions on that one? Okay. Sienna, what did you think of 6? Go for it.
I got 4x squared.
So, Mustafa, see the 2 and the 2? The bases are the same. So the exponent would be 1 plus 1 would be 2 squared, but Sienna's going to make that 4 right off the bat. Okay, make sense? And then you got x to the
2.
x to the 2 and very good. It's y to the 0, which we know is 1, so you left it as 4x squared. Perfect. Well done. Okay, 11. What do you think? Yep. It's 1. Anything to the exponent 0 is 1. Okay. 13. Vespa. Put down your phone, son.
For 13?
I want you to do it in your head now. Don't look at your answers.
Shouldn't it just be 4 though?
Shouldn't it just be 4, though? No, it shouldn't. Now we got something to text about.
Would the 0 cancel out 4?
Okay. So you bringing that in like that?
Yes.
Okay. Then you also have to bring that in like that. Because what this says is 4 r to the 0 times 4 r to the 0 times 4 r to the 0 times 4 r to the 0. How many 4s are there?
4.
Uh-huh. So you still have to have 4 to the 4, even though you still have r to the 0. So that's going to be 4 times 4 is 16.
256.
256. Big mistake. That'll cost you. Stay with us. I told you it gets hard pretty quick. Let's look over here. Compared to this one, Vespa, what would you do here?
It would be 16a to 6.
That's right. So if you use the shortcut, it's going to be 4 squared, a to the 6, and we just write it as 16a to the 6. Perfect. What about this one, though?
Hold on. I got 1 over 2x to the 8. I don't know if that's right.
What do you think? I don't care what you got last night. I care what you get right now. Take a look at it. What should we do? You and I have done 1, 2 questions. We're now doing a third one. Use the information that you've learned. What do we do?
Oh, hold on a second.
Yeah?
I keep on forgetting.
That's right.
Alright.
So once again, when we take up the homework, don't worry about going back and checking it. I couldn't care less what answer you got last night. I care what answer you get today. Does that make sense? Homework's for practice. It's not to show me that you've done it. So what are you going to get, Vespa?
You'll end up with 2x to the, or
Okay, you're hurting.
Yeah.
We have two ways of doing this. Here's one way. Negative exponent means that if it's negative in the top, it'll be positive in the bottom. So it'll be 1 over 2x squared all to the 4. That gets rid of the negative exponent with the 4. That's one way to do it. Next, we take that 4 into both those terms. It'll be 1 over 2 to the 4, x to the 8. And 2 to the 4 is 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8 times 2 is 16. So it would be 1 over 16x to the 8. The other way to do this is to take the negative 4 directly in. Don't worry about flipping it yet. We're going to take it directly in. You're going to get 2 to the negative 4 and x to the negative 8. Well, they're both negative. If the exponents are negative in the top, then they'll be positive in the bottom. 2 to the 4, x to the 8. Which way do you like better, Fortino? Do you? Okay. Which way do you like better? See, JP? Second. Okay. Anyone like the first way better? Yeah? Okay. And it's okay. Okay, but you got to do one. And Vespa, you got to get with us. Okay, so make sure you got it. What else we got up here? Okay, let's do 9 just for fun. Can you see it? Do it right now in your heads. See what you get. Okay, that's enough time, I think. You should have 12 over AB. Anyone agree with me? Okay, can you do that in one step? Okay. What's next? Let's do the bottom one. 16. Notice the negative exponent? Probably easiest just to do this. And anything to the exponent 1 is still going to be with an exponent 1. Make sense? Stop me if I get you. How we doing, Sebastian? We okay? Okay. That's it for 106 as far as I'm concerned. 107. I can't really read what's happening in 17 or 18, so I'm going to skip them. There's enough other ones to do. So let's take a look down here. Okay, 19. Two different ways to do this. Some of you prefer to do this first. I got rid of the negative exponent, and I changed it to positive. This one's going to go in. Notice this one's still negative. It can come up to the top. Bless you. Do we agree? The other way to do it is to take the negative into each one of them. Notice what's going to happen. You're going to get 2 to the negative 1, x to the negative 4, and y to the positive 3. Remember, this whole thing is over top of 1. These are negative in the top, so they will be positive in the bottom. I don't care which way you do it. In fact, I want you to be able to do it both ways. So what should we look at? 22. Go. This is what I'm thinking. It's 4x to the 4 times x to the 1. I wouldn't write that. I really wouldn't. My final answer would simply be 1 over 4x to the 5 in one step. But that's what I was thinking. The other way to do this is 1/4 x to the minus 1 negative 4. That'll give you 1/4 x to the minus 5, which is the same as 1 over 4x to the 5. Is there anyone that does it this way still out there? Yeah? Okay, so you're relying more on the grade 9 rules that you saw. They're fine, but they're going to get you in a little bit trouble sometimes, okay? So be careful of that. Do you see it that ours is cleaner? All right. I don't know. 25. Where's 25? There's 25. So Mustafa, if you do it the long way, you're going to get 3, m to the negative 4, subtract 3. You're going to get m to the negative 7, and then you're going to have to make it 3 over m to the 7. Doing it our way, you see that this is negative, it's going to come down to the bottom, and we're simply going to get what's this x to the 0 going to do in 27? It's going to be a 1. Okay, so it's not going to really matter. It's actually going to look like this. I'd like you to see this at least once. It actually looks like that. Do we need to write the 1? No. But that's what's happening. All right, so what's really going on? We've got the 4 and the 4 being reduced. We've got the y going down to the bottom. So I think you're going to be left with z3 over xy squared. Anyone agree with me? Okay. We bored yet? Okay. So if I give you a question like this on your test, it's worth 1 mark. You're going to get it right? Okay. We'll have a quiz tomorrow. I'll pick some questions from your homework. No more than 5. We'll mark them right in class. Yep. Yeah, right on this. Make sure you can do it. Can I move on to 108? Okay. I can think of 4 different ways to do this question right off the bat. What do you see, Sienna?
Bringing the 4 into.
Me too. I like that first for this question too. I really like the idea of making this x to the negative 8 times x to the negative 12. And at that point, it really sinks into me that those bases are the same. So that's simply going to be x to the minus 20, which is going to be 1 over x to the 20. What would have been another way to do this question?
Maybe write out the brackets for
Oh yeah, I could. Absolutely not anymore. We need to move on from that. But that's definitely what you're thinking. What would be another way of doing this question, though, that I would consider a half-decent methodology? Yep.
Putting the 1 over it and making them positive.
Yep, we could make all these positive right away by making it so it could have gone like this. We could have changed that immediately to 1 over x squared times 1 over x3 to the 4. We certainly could have done that. And in which case it would have been, gets a little bit more complicated. Maybe we could have put these together. 1 over x to the 5. Would that have been nicer? And then take the 4 into the top and the bottom. Now 1 to the 4 is still 1. That makes sense to everyone? This is how I would have done it, to be honest with you. Let's say I was walking down the street, minding my own business, and this question came up and accosted me on the sidewalk. It could happen. It could happen. I have to solve this question to save my life. It could happen. What are we going to do? I would do this. I'd simplify what's in the brackets first. If the bases are the same, then we can do that. And we're simply going to get does it matter which way we do it? No. I don't know. Vespa, let's see if you remember. Number 4.
this one you could go 4b squared, and then you could do 8b to the 4 at least.
Okay. So what he did was he took this square in, and he got 2 squared, which is 4, v squared. And then he took the 4 and the 2, he made 8, and he got v to the 4. Perfect. Did you get v squared?
Yeah, I did.
That's a bad thing.
Just wasn't saying.
That's a very bad thing. And then they can get uglier. We can make big, long questions. So this is number 5 on page 108. So to do this, you just go through the same motions. 2 times 4 is 8, times 3 is 24, and divided by 3. So that's going to be 8. Do you see a place where I could have made my life a little bit easier? Do you see how this 3 is being multiplied by everything on top? And then it's being divided by 3? I could just reduce those, couldn't I? Okay, so these simply could be reduced if I wanted to, in which case the number is going to be 2 times 4. I've got x squared times x, so I've got x to the 5 on top. I've got y to the 4, which is y to the 8 on top. I've got x to minus 3 and y squared. This is negative, it'll be positive on top, so it'll be 8x to the 8. And I've got y to the 8 over y squared, so it'll be y to the 6. There's more y's on top than bottom. Is that what you guys got? Okay. I don't know. It's getting boring. 8. You go. I'll give you a second. And pause the video so that the people watching don't have to take that long.